This is the same teacher. I won't say her name. And I hope she's...
oh my God.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
We are Backdoors and Blindsides. We're covering Survivor 49, and we're bringing you episode 6, The Devil's Shoes. It's nice to be back after, I guess, a couple days off. We're like a couple days behind our podcast schedule, but we're still in line with the CBS broadcasting schedule of Survivor. And we kick things off on this episode with, you're not going to believe it, another tribe switch.
No way. No way. Unheard of in Survivor. Unheard of.
I have to check out Jeff's podcast because he does like an official recap as well. I have to figure out how he manages this shit on his show because it makes doing this show, our show, very difficult.
Original Hina, second wave Hina, third wave Hina. I wish the tribe names changed every single time so that we could, more succinctly reference which tribe we're talking about. Because, it does get confusing. It's like, current Hina or second wave Hina, third wave, whatever. So we, not only do we go from originally 3 tribes to 2 tribes, usually we'll go down to 1 tribe after that. No. That would be way too easy. That would make too much sense. So instead of going from 2 tribes to 1 tribe, we went from 2 tribes back to 3 tribes. Whoa! Uli's back on the table. Don't forget about Uli. It's back.
I can't fucking believe that we go from we jump through all these numbers when we just said this a couple episodes ago. Like 1 tribe is always going to eat shit, which means that they're going to have to change it up again. I mean, this is a result of the Hina tribe going to tribal 2 weeks in a row, or two nights in a row, I guess. Yeah. Sending home Matt and Jason, thus turning them into a 3-piece where there's like a 6-piece, somewhere else on the beach. And I think this is just like another, and we don't have to bitch about this all episode, but like this is just another example
bitching, though.
Of like she be bitching why this is just, I think it's not the right format to start or continue Survivor with like the whole 3 tribe element. But we digress. After copious note-taking, rewatching of the actual TV episode, and I guess checking our facts, we have the updated list of, our 3 tribes currently on Survivor 49, about a little over a third of the way through the season. So let's start with our favorite tribe, right? The Kella tribe, the seemingly cursed tribe. More on that. And that's another shakeup to where we have Steven from the original Hina tribe,
who was then on Kella.
Yes. And I honestly, I think that we just have to pretend that these like secondary tribes,
we just forget about that. We forget about it
because we're still all playing kind of like these original tribes.
Day 1 tribes.
Day 1 tribes, exactly. So we have Steven from Hina, and then we have Shannon, Sage, and Jawan, all from the original Uli tribe. Yep.
And then Shannon and Sage were together on the second wave Kella tribe.
Yeah, they've been together the whole time.
Right, which is important because these 2 people, Shannon and Sage, are the only duo to play 100% of the game with each other besides Rizzo and Savannah, which we'll get to in a second.
Really interesting. Two very interesting couples, if you forgive my term to compare, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon and Sage, on the outside, this should be a home run for them. They've played the entire game together. Mm-hmm. They get, Jawan back, right? It's 3 original Ulis. Should be an easy Steven vote on paper.
Yeah.
If we're going from the original tribe lines, which they seem to love to talk about, and they seem to love these lines, even though some players are trying to erase them a little bit. But we all know they're playing to the original tribes.
It's like when Sophi with an I ended up with all Uli players.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I think Juwan's lucky AF to be away from Savannah. This could have gone better for him. He had no idea, though, right, that Savannah was like really gunning for him because, he took her bag and her what was it, her water bottle.
He just made a couple silly mistakes.
Yeah, and listening to our conversations, whatever. But he's lucky to get away from her unknowingly at this point. And then we have New Uli.
Right. Uli returns.
Uli returns, which the only original Uli that is on New Uli is Nate.
Yeah.
And then we have Christina, Alex, and Sophi IE.
Yeah. So Christina and Sophi with an E come from the original Hina tribe. And then Alex is one of 2 surviving members of the original Kella tribe.
Right. But it is important to note that Christina, Alex, and Sophi IE were...
they were like in the second iteration of tribes.
Yes. They were all together with Kella.
And then we go to...
Well, I did want to say real quick first, though, that Nate has not played with any of these players before.
Yeah.
None. He is completely in the dark. He doesn't know any of these people. So that's a super intimidating position for him right now is to come into these relationships that have already been formed for days and days on this point.
Yeah, he gets fucked the most by this tribe switch at the beginning of the show. And then we go to Hina tribe, which has existed this entire time. And that is made up of the only original Hina member, MC.
Yeah, which... Again, she has never played with any of these people on her tribe.
So she's the other one that gets fucked.
She's the other one that gets fucked. And I would say maybe more fucked than Nate because you do have Rizzo and Savannah together that are in an alliance together and who have played the entire game so far together.
And they're old school original Uli. However, they bring along with them Sophi with an I, who was in their second tribe and got really tight with them.
Yep.
So that's like a strong 3-person alliance that MC is now she has to ingratiate herself into.
Specifically, I would say not only did Sophi kind of get wrapped up with the original Uli tribe on the second wave Hina tribe, but she is super close with Savannah. I would say like her and Savannah are pretty, they voted together in a previous tribal where their votes didn't line up with the rest of the votes. So that tells me that they have a really tight bond, maybe tighter than Savannah and Rizzo.
That's what I was going to ask is who do you think she would choose? Like right now, who would she choose in that situation?
I think she chooses Sophi.
I think so
because like we said before in a previous show that we did was that the power of familiarity. And Savannah says that Sophi reminds her of like friends back home. And I think that's huge.
Important to know too, like Rizzo has an idol, which does make him a bit of a threat. And that gets brought up a little later on after the reward challenge. Yeah. But before people are even, I think they've dropped their buffs, but before people are like really getting ready for this challenge, Christina has seemingly like a panic attack.
Yeah.
In the middle of this like open playing
Which
field,
like
basically.
same girl. I was having a panic attack that we're switching tribes again for like this is the third.
It's fucking up the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she, I mean, that's like what I clocked right away. I'm like, oh, she was clearly having a panic attack. They bring in the doctor. She's got other players kind of helping her out as well.
I mean, maybe not even a panic attack so much as that like it's fucking hot.
Yeah. Just
they were probably standing in place there talking about. Oh, merge, haha, okay, we got our buffs. Okay, we're splitting it. They're probably standing there doing that for like maybe an hour or so. And you're standing there in the direct Fijian sun, heat beating down. It's said multiple times throughout this season so far. It's like the hottest that they have ever been, or Fiji has ever been when they have been shooting Survivor. Jeff has mentioned it. Even Jeff at the end, which we'll get to, like was kind of out of breath from the challenge. Yeah. So like it really goes to show like how the elements really come into play and just kind of affect you, whether you want them to or not. Like she really, had no control over that situation. And I definitely felt for her in that moment. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it was also what I was feeling when we said that we were going from 2 tribes back up to 3 tribes. But something real quick too with the tribe reshuffling that happened. I still can't believe Sophi IE and Sophi I are not on the same tribe together.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
At
God.
least they're looking out for us.
Thank God. No, we have all the 3 different lines of the different tribes from all the different merges and swaps. And God forbid that I have to address Sophi with an I and Sophi with an IE on the same tribe. So I love that the Survivor gods were on our side for that, at least. But this was the first episode that the existence of the other Sophi was mentioned. So
yes.
it's almost like the worlds are colliding. We are acknowledging that another Sophi exists. One Sophi acknowledges that another Sophi exists, and I just think that's kind of funny.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah,
of
pretty
them
much.
pointing
We're
at
all
each other. Exactly. And I wonder. I'd love to ask a cast member, like, how long, depending on obviously how long you last on the season, how long before you start resenting Jeff a little bit? Because you talk about how they're standing out there, for maybe an hour, just beating down. They're just bullshitting, right?
Yeah.
Like they're waiting for shots to be set up and stuff. Jeff's the one poking them, probing, asking probing questions. He's Jeff Probe.
Probesting them. He's probesting them.
I like that. At Tribal, he's Jeff Probe.
He's just probe.
But I just think at a certain point you've got to be like, oh my god, dude, shut up. Let us knock this shit out so we can go back to camp, get under some shade.
I mean, you do have Sophi IE in one of the previous immunity challenges where she saying she doesn't want the fruit basket.
She like balks at the
she's like, what the fuck is it? And then fast forward to this immunity challenge, Jeff asks the losing tribe to take the flint from them, and Juwan's like, do you have to?
Yeah. You're fucking me over again?
Yeah, seriously, Jeff? And he's like, I do have to. I'm like, no, you don't. That's my biggest gripe with kind of the Survivor antics, if you will, is the losing tribe getting their flint taken away, kicking them while they're down. It should be the basis. Like that, these very few tools should just be the baseline on any tribe.
Well, I think we can draw a direct line to not having your flint and going to tribal.
Yes.
And I think that's a problem.
It's the cycle. It's the cycle that happens.
That means
then.
it's like a guarantee that or it's not a guarantee, but there's a trend between losing your flint, going to tribal, and then losing the following immunity challenge because you haven't eaten. You probably haven't slept well. You're all fucked up, right? So we jump into this reward challenge with our new tribes. The reward is grilled cheese sandwiches. And
some
then
chips.
First place also gets potato chips, iced tea. I can't imagine what caffeine is like after 11 days of. I think you got to feel amazing. Yeah, honestly.
I mean, I go 5 hours without caffeine, and I'm still when I get it.
And I think it's like brownies or something like that. And then second place,
something like that. No, it is brownies.
It is brownies.
And as a chocolate lover, this would be. I would just take those brownies and rub it all over my gums and really
savor that stuff. And second place, just they still get sandwiches though. They still get grilled cheese sandwiches. Third place gets jack shit. So the challenge is as a team they have to push a cart over several obstacles that look almost like speed bumps.
Yeah, and it has a ladder on it.
Yeah. And as they push over these obstacles, there's like sandbags and shit. They get to what looks like almost like a traffic light, right? It's like an L-shaped pole up overhead. Someone has to get up the ladder and use a pole to knock an individual disc off of each of these. We'll call them light poles or whatever. And there's like as you move down the line, you get to the next light pole where you've got to shuffle a disc basically all the way down the pole horizontally to then get to the end of the challenge. Once you get all three discs, you reach the end of the lane. You have to throw those discs at four individual, we'll call them like pipes or totems or whatever, to knock them off of the pedestal that they're sitting on. And that's the first place winners, the first group to do that. And then obviously the second group.
And while they're doing it, don't forget, let's have fun.
Dude, I have it written down right here. Shannon turns to her new tribe mates, or at least I guess her newly formed tribe. She already knows all of these people, actually. She says, let's have fun, guys. I want to ask, because we do dog on Shannon a lot, and I do think that she is true to herself in this game. She does some things that she raises a lot of eyebrows with kind of the way that she presents herself, but I do think that she's true to herself, and that's something that I do respect. Yes. I do think she's authentic. What do you do in that situation when you've just had this tribe switch? They look over and she says, "Let's have." Can you imagine if Christina was on her tribe and she looks back over at Christina after what just happened to her? She says, "Let's have fun, guys."
Christina's like, "I'm just trying to stay conscious right now.
I'm just trying to stay fucking alive today, dude." What do you do?
Me personally, if I'm in that situation,
you tell her to fuck off, or you just nod and smile.
I mean, it's nod and smile, and then it's pulling my favorite bit out of any Survivor player or any competition reality player in existence is when someone says something, you're like, yeah.
You
And
look at the camera.
Yeah, Sage does it all the time, and I'm so here for every little eye roll and just like, face that she makes, because I would also be making those faces too. So I would definitely be making a face at it.
I know that it's a reward challenge. It's not immunity, right? No one's at risk here, but still, that much food is going to, it's going to save you for at least a day. I mean, it's going to put you on the opposite end of the spectrum of, you're probably going to be all right in the next immunity challenge because you're going to have full stomachs and energy going in. And it's what Sophi with an E wanted so bad, right? It is carbs and like high calorie food.
I so badly wanted Jeff to like reveal the reward, like this is the food, and I wanted him to look at Sophi and be like, this is good enough for you,
dude. That'd be so great. Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't call back to it. I guess he was in a good mood.
Yeah.
And so we move on with the reward challenge, and there's nothing like super eventful in the way that it's played, but Hina comes in first, and that is Rizzo, MC, Sophi, and Savannah.
Well, that's because Rizzo was able to absolutely annihilate that last section of the challenge and knock, like, frisbee those totems off their little poles and secure the win for them. And Sophie's very first win.
Yes.
Sophi with an I.
Sophi with an I's first win
Good for her.
Any challenge. I do want to note that, so the first food she has in 11 days is grilled cheese sandwiches. It's got to be an amazing, what is it, ocean dump?
Yeah.
Afterwards?
Aqua dump.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to be killer, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if you can even
That's true.
do it.
I think it depends on the type of cheese in that situation, honestly.
That's true. But they win, and she runs over to MC, and she like spider monkeys her.
Yeah.
Just all of her limbs wrapped around MC, and MC's just like
MC picks her up. It's awesome. It's the happiest she's been the entire season, and she deserves it because like not only did she make it out of that hellish cursed tribe, but she's been playing these last couple of weeks as well. Like she has really been fighting to stick around and like making moves for herself. And then
well, I saw a watch party like a clip of a watch party of Sophie's like friends and family, and they all just like lost their absolute shit when they saw Sophi win her very first challenge. They're very happy.
You got to just think of like what a relief it is. And it's just like, okay, I'm no longer cursed.
Yeah.
Right? Because up until this point, Sophi had been to tribal every single week.
This was Sophie's best episode.
It really was.
Like she broke the curse in multiple ways, and we'll get into that. But this was definitely the start of it. She was able to have fun, as Shannon said, because she won the challenge. And that's the thing with me. I don't have fun unless I win.
Sure.
I'm very competitive. I am a sore loser, and maybe even some would call me a sore winner.
Yes, you are.
Hey, I am.
I'm just confirming.
Yeah. I try to hide it though. I'll be like, good game, but you can see all the excitement.
It's worse because everyone knows that you're hiding it. So like it's.
So you want me to just rub your nose in it?
No, I maybe just take a different approach next time. I don't know.
Damn, calling me out.
Well, I don't take as much offense to it as other people do.
Yeah, some people take
People
offense.
get really butthurt when you win, and then I mean you don't gloat.
No, I don't gloat.
Honestly, maybe it's just that people are so upset that you've won again that like it's a lose-lose situation.
Right. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like being really talented and doing a podcast. People are going to be upset with you and resent you for no reason.
Right, exactly.
So Uli comes in second place. And then Kella.
Alex was our champion for
Alex
Uli.
knocks down the final statues, if you will, for the Uli tribe. And then Kella comes in dead last. And it seems like maybe things have turned around for the worse for Kella.
Yeah.
But the one thing I want to point out before we move on from the reward challenge is it was a neck and neck comp basically the entire time. And Jeff is, like we said, it's hot as shit out there. Jeff is winded.
He's running around with them too.
He is.
He's not just standing on a platform just being like, no, he's running. He's getting up on them, seeing what is happening, and he is there, there with them.
I mean, he's going. It's amazing. I think that's his greatest talent, honestly, is calling the challenges the way that he does. And talented in many ways, but that is, I think, the most impressive part of his job, honestly. And then Rizzo ribs him a little bit. He says, "Oh, Jeff, are you out of breath?" And Jeff, as he's still catching his breath, says, "Yeah, I get winded too. It's hot out here. Rizzo quips back, "Welcome to Survivor,"
which
it's
hilarious.
Awesome. He's the Riz god. He's got the charisma, and I think he's got to be the most over of anyone in the current cast.
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
I think he's definitely the most beloved.
Yeah. And I think too, something interesting that comes out of this comment that is the subtext of what Rizzo is saying is that, yes, Jeff has been out here hosting 49 seasons of Survivor. He's getting rained on when they're out there getting rained on. He's, riding in the boats. He's running alongside them in the competitions, whatever. But Jeff has never played Survivor. He can sympathize with a lot of them, and he can empathize with a lot of them as far as like some of the conditions go, but not 100%. Like, Jeff will never experience what Rizzo's experiencing,
right?
Or anyone that has played Survivor for that matter. So yeah, there is a sense of the players do have something over Jeff, if you will, which is the fact that we're out here starving.
Well, I think
you're taking our Flint. We have no shelter. You call this hammock luxury? No, my ass is just up off the ground for like 5 seconds. I'm rubbing sand on my body to exfoliate. I'm shitting in the ocean, Jeff. He can't relate to them 100%. I'd say he can relate to them maybe like 35%.
And you get quips, right? You have Jawan saying, "Do you have to take our Flint?" Whatever. But Rizzo really goes like toe for toe, just in like the snappiness of the way that he shoots these lines off. And
kind of flips the roles on their head.
I root for him. And I have to think that Jeff loved that. He's oh hell yeah. Like we've got ourselves a TV star. Yeah. And a TV star who's also really good at playing this game.
And don't forget, they are looking for 2 TV stars from this season to then move on to season 50.
That's right.
So the season 50 cast was 90% revealed minus 2 mystery players from this season. So these people are also competing for not only this season, but for next season. And you see a lot of this kind of like mentality and talk. And, I don't know if they are told if they have that chance for season 50 or not. And I think they do. And I think it might be maybe later in the game, or they were told, but it just wasn't addressed.
Maybe at the merge.
It wasn't addressed like on camera yet or ever. But, you think back to other reality TV shows like Bachelor, Bachelorette. Something that comes up in those shows all the time is, what reasons are you here? Are you here for the right reasons? And people are like, well, what does that mean? Well, if I'm going on The Bachelor, one, something horribly went wrong. Why aren't we together?
Yeah,
what
my
happened?
bad.
Right.
Sorry.
You're what?
I took the L.
You took the L? Well, one, I would not be alive after that. So that would be very upsetting for me.
Sure.
It would cripple my life. But let's hypothetically say I'm on The Bachelor, right? So what would be my ulterior motives? Is to be enough of a TV personality to continue on into the franchise, whether it be Bachelor in Paradise or to maybe be crowned the next Bachelorette, right? So not only are you trying to, in the Survivor context, potentially win this season and to, be beloved by the Survivor community, but now you have an immediate chance to be put back into the game, which doesn't happen for a lot of players. There's usually, an all-star season every, several seasons, groups of 5, 10 seasons, whatever. But yeah, you're being told, if you put on a good enough performance, you could come back. That doesn't mean you have to win. That means you have to be a big enough personality and be interesting enough. So now is a game of, do I play for this season and try to win, whatever that means? Or do I try to maybe front for the cameras a little bit and roll those eyes and have those asides and play up my social game to the cameras and in my confessionals to make myself an interesting, compelling case for Survivor 50? Or do I try to do both? Which I think it'd be hard to do both.
I think trying to think about Survivor 50 is a bad idea because they've
been thinking about it for 5 fucking seasons.
Well, they as the team have been,
Yeah,
but
I
mean,
know,
as a player, like let's say Rizzo is. I don't think Rizzo has his eyes on Survivor 50. I think that's who he is.
Oh no,
like,
for
I
him
think it's
specifically.
genuine, and so I
think people like Steven though.
I'm not
maybe
saying it's like
up a little bit.
Like it's not like this is rigged, but I think it's in favor of people
No, it's rizzed.
like it's Riz. It's in favor of people like Rizzo who are just naturally it. they've just naturally got it. They're good at the game, but they've also they bring that type of persona to
Charisma.
TV. Yeah, that people are drawn to. You talk about All-Stars, and you talk about how Jeff hasn't ever played Survivor. I'm sure everyone has contracts with their own networks, but imagine like a Traitors season.
All with hosts?
All hosts. So it's Jeff.
Hell
it's
yeah.
Julie Chen Moonves. It's TJ from The Challenge. Throw in fucking Mark Wahlberg from Temptation Island.
Yeah, Phil from Amazing Race.
Yeah. Jesse. Is it Jesse Palmer? Is his last
Jesse
name?
Palmer.
Yeah.
Give me Chris Harrison too. Bring
Dude,
back that.
oh,
Chris,
that'd be so
Chris
sick.
Harrison and Jesse Palmer. Oh, some real beef right there. Give me
Who's the woman from Caught in the Act? I want her on there
Cotton.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't remember her name.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's on.
We're
some
just
MTV
fantasy
shows.
booking our own show.
Yeah, that'd be. I'd watch that.
This copyright Backdoors and Blindsides trademark. That's our
Yeah.
idea. We need to get paid for it if that ever happens.
Yeah, that'd be so sick.
That's a great idea. Why don't we work for these networks?
Sign me up.
This is part of we just need to like take the best parts of our analysis of the I guess the first year of the show and mail it in.
Right.
And move in on the company.
These are our official resumes. You have to listen to every single episode to get it.
I love it.
Not in this job economy.
So we have Hina in first, Uli in second, Kella in third. Let's go through each camp before we get to
let's go in that
immunity.
order.
So Hina are victors for the reward challenge. They go back to camp. They're enjoying their grilled cheeses. MC, as we mentioned, is the odd person out here. So MC is very smart. What she does is she takes Rizzo aside because she has an angle on Rizzo. She pulls Rizzo aside and says, hey, just so you know, in our second, I can't even fucking remember at this point, whatever tribe they were, in tribe V2, Sage told us that you have an idol. And I just want to let you know that. Basically telling him, oh, the whole game knows that you have an idol, Rizzo. And she's not using that as leverage against him so much as like she's just trying to build some trust.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm trying to help you out. Hopefully you can help me out.
Flagging
Rizzo-
for your attention. We can circle back to that later. But just to build some camaraderie between us.
And so Rizzo doesn't seem to be that fazed by it. He's like, all right, like there's people are intimidated by me, but that might be a good thing. People aren't going to be so quick to move on me if they know that I can do something to fuck it up.
But I don't think this is necessarily to MC's full favor, I would say.
Why?
I think she maybe built a little bit with him, but Rizzo pulls Sophi and Savannah and says, hey, let's go look for the advantage without MC.
Yeah.
So even though she tried to build a little trust, it maybe wasn't enough to really get Rizzo to consider her as an ally in the game.
It's probably the best option she had, though, right?
It
like
was.
she's just doing what she
She-
can.
Yeah, and she's definitely a disadvantage in this situation with, those three, Rizzo, Sophi, and Savannah having previously worked together. And then you get Sophi, along with Rizzo and Savannah, they're kind of scattered, right? Looking for this advantage. You get Sophi finding the advantage.
Huge.
Holy
what
shit.
a win for her.
So not only does she win something, she wins food, right? So she just the win by itself,
Yeah.
probably good enough for her. She would have been like, hell yeah. Now she has a full belly, and now she just found an advantage.
And that advantage.
This is amazing for she has blown herself out of the curse that was bestowed upon her unwillingly.
She's climbed
and
out of the shit.
I think she's in the clear. She's in the clear for now.
And the advantage is knowledge is power,
Yep.
which means at Tribal, she can ask any player if they have an advantage or an idol, and it becomes hers if they do. Now, this means, correct me if I'm wrong, this means that she could pull this on Rizzo at some point if
could.
she wanted to, because
She
she knows that
absolutely
Rizzo
could.
has one.
And the key thing in this scenario is that she didn't share it with anyone. And she says, I'm not going to share it. No one saw her find it, which was so clutch. Because what does that mean? We've seen in the past where the knowledge is power is found and someone blabs about it to someone else. They blab about it, then everyone knows. Well, guess what? Knowledge is power isn't powerful if everyone knows that you can ask for someone's advantage, because what happens is then a game of the oh my gosh, what's it called? The street game where you cover the ball and you shuffle the cups around.
I should know
it's a game. Oh my gosh.
It's like the street, like the swindler's game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. So then it becomes a game of hide and seek my advantage. So if I know you have the knowledge is power advantage and I have an idol, I know I have an idol. So I know that you could come into tribal and be like, hey, Megan, give me your idol. I don't want that to happen, right? So now I'm going to take my idol and I'm going to secretly give it to an ally, maybe, right? So then you come to tribal and you ask me, hey, Megan, give me your idol. I'd be like, I don't have an idol. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
And we have seen people in the past being burned by that little shuffling around game. So the fact that she is able to keep her trap shut, as other people have not been able to in the past with advantages like this, Rizzo, this is putting her in an ultimate position of powerful. I think Sophi right now is the most powerful person in the game, without a doubt. She has a full belly. She's finally won something. And now she has this advantage that basically is stealing something from someone and pulling out under the rug from them. So this is huge for her.
Yeah. And interesting, Rizzo's situation. Like, it's not by his deed that everyone knows.
No,
because
it's not.
If you remember, he pulled the original beware advantage, but the team started digging for his advantage once they got
They're
cued
helping
that they were
him.
going to tribal.
Yeah, it was kind of a team effort.
It was. So they helped him, they dug for it, but then again, tribe switch happens again. Now all of those people have dispersed, and that could be used against you.
Yeah.
So I think he's right to recognize the risks associated with everyone knowing
The risks.
but he also he's taking all of that into consideration. He's playing his own game as well as his social, playing for his other tribe mates. And at this point, I do want to point out he is a lot more assertive and kind of calling some shots. I mean, he's the one that comes into the camp and says, "Hey, I think there's an advantage around here. We should go look for it."
We gotta go. Yeah.
And
he's
brings
thinking.
Savannah and Sophi. If we call back to the previous two tribes that they were on, they being Rizzo and Savannah, they were run by Savannah and Nate. Mm-hmm. That's not the case anymore. And it seems very clear that Savannah and Rizzo are in charge of this new this new version of the Hina tribe, Hina 3.0.
On the outside. If Sophi doesn't like where something's going, though, she can snatch that idol from him real quick.
I know.
So that's amazing. And I do think she will continue to keep this a secret, because if we do rewind to original Kella, where they were looking for the beware advantage, remember?
Yeah.
And she finds it. She finds the box for it. And she kind of looks around. No one saw her, found it. She tries to cover it back up.
Yeah.
Because she says, I want that.
She's been playing.
I want that advantage. I don't want anyone else to have it.
She's been playing a solo game this entire time, basically.
Yeah, so she's very smart. I think she will continue to hide it, and that's what I'm hoping for her, because the second that you tell someone, it dilutes the power of that, and not only for one person knowing, but then that person's going to use that, as leverage in their game, and so on and so forth, and have a situation where everyone does know about your advantage, which ultimately weakens your advantage, especially in the case of Sophi. Rizzo kind of sees it as, it doesn't, it's a wash, like some people could see it as a disadvantage because everyone knows you have an idol, but he says, I also see it as an advantage in a way because people know I have power.
Yeah.
People are afraid of that, right? Like,
cool.
Do we want to put votes on Rizzo? Did we, make him feel comfortable enough not to use his idol? I don't know. So there is a chance that, everyone knowing Rizzo has an idol is an advantage for him in the simple fact that people are afraid to throw votes on him.
Let's move on to Uli 3.0, or 2. I guess it's technically the second version of Uli because it went away. We're going to call it 3.0 because all of these tribes are 3.0 at this point.
Yes. Round 3.
Alex, Sophi with an E, Nate, and Christina. Nate is the odd man out here because the other 3 are all coming from a previous tribe together. I think that was Kella 2.0. And so this is the first time that, Nate is just like MC on a tribe full of people that he's never played with. Mm-hmm. They weren't part of his core tribe to begin with that they started the game out. And he immediately starts telling them what they want to hear. And
gaming a little bit.
It's an interesting choice because he's like proven to be a very sharp guy.
Oh yeah,
But
totally.
he's proven that he's kind of into the mind games part of Survivor. Like that's a big part of the way that he's been playing.
Manipulation for sure.
He tells them, "Oh, so here's how it went down in our previous, Hina 2.0 is where he came from." He said, "Well, Matt was an easy vote. Everyone knew that they wanted Matt gone." And now then he decides to lie and he says, "But Jason, I was working with Jason and I didn't want him gone."
I loved him. We were best
Says,
friends.
"Yeah, we were buddies,
we were
and
buddies.
it really sucked to see him go."
We aqua dumped together. We held,
We held hands.
as we skipped down the
do
beach.
you think if were you saying they're holding hands while aqua dumping?
Oh no, I said skipping down the
Would
beach.
you be side by side? I feel like in that situation you'd be facing each other and kind of like
like
extending
supporting
your arms out.
Yeah, like
that might be really
tantric
nice.
yoga kind of
Yeah.
almost.
That might be great.
You're saying this like
No,
you would do this. You want to go do this.
I'm just
We're not doing
it's
this.
just interesting.
Yeah, I mean no. This wasn't a thing that happened. That was just a joke.
Potomac River's right down the street.
Diseases in that river. We don't
That's true.
go in that river.
I know someone who used to swim in the Potomac all of the time.
That's crazy. I went to a Lorde concert one time.
Lord the artist.
The artist,
Yeah.
Lorde, and at the Anthem.
Not Hillsong United. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and she was talking. She's up there performing, and she was talking. She's like, yeah, I love to be in the bodies of water of the places that I'm performing in, to just get like closer to like the people and the culture and the environment. She's like, yeah, earlier today I was swimming in the Potomac, and the entire crowd, myself included, audibly gasped and were like, no, boo, boo. It made headlines the next day. And people are like, Lorde claims she swims in the Potomac River. And everyone's like, nah, you don't want to be doing that. Not around DC.
Take a
for
good
that
look
matter.
around, because this is Lord's last concert tonight, you guys. She's going to die of dysentery tomorrow.
She didn't. And it wasn't her last concert.
Shout out.
But
So we go to the Uli tribe, and nobody is buying that Nate is, or no one's buying what Nate is selling. They think that he's
not
full of
before
shit.
Nate is in a confessional being like, I think they bought it, which is my favorite cutaway to the real time of people discussing the conversation they just had. They're like, yeah, we're not buying that shit at all.
Yeah, and Sophie with an E in particular is the most vocal about not buying it. This is the most we've seen of her so far this season. She's actually talking game at camp. It's a little easier when every tribe is only 4 people. And she is already pining for Nate to be the target, which is dicey because we haven't been to immunity yet.
Yep. And I will point out, though, the reason that Nate was trying to fold in a lie about him being close with Jason was he didn't want it to seem like, oh, the lines of prior Uli and prior Hina V1,
Right.
version 1, round 1, are in fact true. Because, again, he's the only person from his original tribe on this new tribe. So he needs them to believe that he does not think the original lines exist. But if you look at the facts, bro, you voted. I don't care if you were wanting him out or not, or wanting to work with him or not. He was out. The fact of the matter is that, old original Uli voted out 2 prior Hina members. So just looking at the facts, I'd be sussed out. And Sophie absolutely clocks in and is like, yeah, I don't buy that. The original lines are in place no matter what Nate says.
And I think it's working against Nate because anyone else on these other tribes looking at the game, OG Uli at this point is the only tribe that is still completely intact. All 6 members of the original Uli tribe are still in the game. We've lost several from Kella, 3, technically 4, I don't know, because of Jake's evac.
Yeah.
And we've lost several from Hina as well. The Uli tribe is still together. At this point, they make up half of the game. And that's scary. And so I think that Nate, it's too little too late on his part, because you have to accept the fact that anyone coming from that OG Uli tribe is going to be a target. And especially you, if you're by yourself, I think you have to come totally clean and just be at their mercy, right?
Yeah,
Hey, I'll do whatever you guys want. Find the strongest team member, which in this case, it's interesting because I don't know that there's like a clear leader on that side of things yet.
On
paper,
Uli's side?
on the new Uli side, yeah. On paper,
new
it would
Uli.
be Nate because he's led tribes in the past, but I don't know, maybe like Alex at this point.
I think it's Sophi.
Yeah,
I think it's Sophi.
she was talking the most.
Yeah, she was talking the most. Nate is just, fact of the matter, on paper, on the bottom of this tribe, optically on the bottom, right? So then that leaves us, Christina and Sophi, right? They were together originally, and Alex, met up with them. But I think Sophi didn't like the way Christina was kind of throwing her under the bus of potentially using Sophi as a decoy name to give to Nate. She was like, fuck you, Christina.
Yeah.
You want to use a decoy name? Great idea. Let's use your name.
I don't know why she said that.
Yeah. And again, we're playing 4 moves ahead. It just, people continue to shoot themselves in the foot in these games, openly talking about 4 moves ahead and pissing people off too early and creating enemies too early. You want to time it just right. And Christina doesn't time it right. And that leads Sophi to go to Alex.
Yeah, she burned Sophi.
Yeah, Christina burned Sophi because Sophi knew that she wasn't really on the top of the original Hina anyways.
And she goes right to Alex and says, hey, I'll do Christina tonight if I have to.
Yeah.
Like an immediate burn between 2 people that have been on the same tribe up at this point the entire season.
Right.
Which sucks. And yeah, I don't think that Nate, you need to throw a decoy out to Nate because Nate doesn't have an idol.
Yeah.
Rizzo's the one that found the idol on their original camp.
Well, he could have had an advantage from the journey he went on with MC.
He went on with
right?
MC.
Someone could be lying about something that happened there.
But I think you think about how many layers deep that would be, because that also means that MC, your OG tribe member, was lying to you and all of that, right? And so I think at this point, yeah, you just keep your mouth shut and just know, everyone silently knows if we go tonight, it's Nate. So you're right. Yeah, she overplayed, which sucks because this is kind of like the first time that we've seen Christina talk about making moves because it's, she still hasn't been to tribal, just like a lot of these players haven't. So that is kind of all that's up on the Uli side. Let's go to Kella before we get into the immunity challenge.
Yes.
Kella is Steven, Shannon, Sage, and Jawan. So Jawan is back with 2 of his OG Ulis. He moves from one group to the other, Shannon and Sage. And Steven was with Shannon and Sage at their previous tribe, which I think was Kella 2.0.
Correct. And don't forget, Steven and Shannon, they don't really, Steven doesn't really fuck with Shannon.
Correct.
And Sage doesn't really fuck with Shannon. Now, Jawan is coming in like, yay!
Yeah, Jawan thinks he's sitting good.
I get 2 of my old Uli members, right? Like, let's all be buddy-buddy. This would be great. And then, he obviously he didn't know this at the time, but Savannah was coming from him. So, in hindsight, this will be to his advantage to break away from Savannah, at least at this point in the game, because she was guns a-blazing for him. So Jawan actually is sitting so pretty right now.
Yeah, he's in good shape. And yeah, Steven is the odd man out because even though he comes from, a previous couple of nights with Shannon and Sage, it does go back to the half of the remaining game is OG Uli members. And so he is on paper the easy vote if that's what it comes down to, if it comes down to going to tribal.
And you don't have Jawan and Steven ever have played together. Wow, that wasn't a real English sentence. I could have said that a little bit better. Let's try that again. Jawan and Steven have never played together.
Right.
So they are introducing themselves, and it seems to be that they are cut from similar cloth.
Yeah.
We go back to the Kella camp, and immediately it's we're chasing chickens around trying to corral them back in, and we have Juwan and Steven sharing dad jokes with each other. And it's funny because I think he asked him, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on it right now, something to do with gums, something without teeth and something gums, and I don't know, but Juwan asks it to Steven, and Steven immediately clocks the joke, and I was like, oh, okay, they're on the same frequency here.
It's the right move on Steven's part. He's like, I got to find someone. I got to build bonds quick. I'm going to go for Jawan because he's coming back from a different tribe. I got to get to him before Shannon and Sage do. And yeah, they bond over like movies and Marvel and shit. So it's the right move on his part. And again, yeah, he is looking to form bonds. He's not going to Shannon and Sage immediately and being like, so we're voting out Jawan, right? Because we're now tighter as a group.
Right.
He's doing what Christina should have been doing, or honestly even MC in that, or what MC was trying to do, honestly, by pulling Rizzo aside. So Shannon, sorry.
No, I'm just laughing over Shannon being pro Sage again. We love Sage. Sage
Right.
is my best friend, my soul sister. We've shared pants over the summer together. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants joke. I don't know. Some cornball shit that Shannon is like, yay, Sage and I are best friends.
The sister time is interesting.
Yeah.
And also a really good way to other your tribe members.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have sister time. All right. So then like Steven's not a part
fuck
of
me
sister
then.
time. Jawan's not a part of sister time.
Yeah.
Now you're giving Shannon an opening. You're kind of stinging
They
two
having
of
like
your
brother
tribe
time
members.
over there.
You're going to leave them alone. They're going to get closer.
Sure.
And they might be talking about you. And that's something that she doesn't really consider.
Yeah.
But she does tell her OG Ulis that Steven is the easy vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
She sees what we see. But then she goes to the cameras and she says, I need to reconnect with Sage. And I also want to work with Steven. I think Steven is a safer bet as an ally to move into the merge with.
Right, because they have that little more history together. But something interesting that Shannon says is that she had to, quote, tone down the relationship with Sage. And if my memory serves me right, which a lot of the time it doesn't, but I think in this case it does, Shannon was just trying to get Sage out. Mm-hmm. Shannon was floating Sage's name around. She was anti-Sage. She was throwing her under the bus. She was trying to plant seeds to then, if we needed a vote out, it would be Sage because I don't really fuck with Sage. So I'm just like over here, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You were directly targeting her. What do you mean? That's not toning down. That's literally guns a-blazing for someone, realizing that, oh, you're fucked now. And now I'm with the person that I was trying to get out, and that's clearly not going to work with how the lines are right now. So I'm going to just pretend that didn't happen and suck back up to her. And if I'm Sage, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I knew you were gunning for me. And the second that you are maybe on the outs or like, maybe could be in a sticky situation, you're going to come back to me. No, fuck that. Because if we merge, you're still going to come back for me. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Sage says it best herself to the camera. She says she's playing a dirty game.
Yeah. And I'm like, is Shannon having a selective memory or she's now having a selective narrative? Which one is it?
I think it's a selective narrative.
Yeah, she's just pretending that, this other stuff didn't happen. And Sage definitely clocks it. And she says, basically, fuck that. And I think Sage is definitely trying to just fake it till she makes it with Shannon. And
she does. I mean, she plays along with all of the sister time stuff, right? At one point, they're walking down the beach and Shannon, she just says, can we hold hands while we walk? And Sage just effortlessly says, yeah, of course. Like, I got to be honest, I would be, if anyone besides you just was like, hey, can we hold hands really quick? I would stop to think just to process what someone asked me. Because that's kind of an unusual thing to ask someone, especially when you're just like on a TV show together.
Sure.
And just without even blinking, she says, totally, she grabs her hand. It's A+ maneuvering on her part.
Which is hilarious because Sage says about Shannon, quote, she's very snaky, disingenuous, tried to lead with this front of authenticity, and I'm the only one that sees that, which Sage is wrong because Steven also sees it.
And they kind of talked about that last week too.
They did, yeah. But so she isn't the only one that sees it. Other people are, kind of raising their eyebrows to this. But basically Sage says, you got to put the schmooze on. I hate the schmooze, but you got to do it. I love that.
We all hate the schmooze, don't we?
Sage has some fantastic quotes. She's the one that I've quoted the most in this episode. And I think maybe overall this whole season, like I think she... TV gold right now. If she doesn't make it to 50, I would be shocked.
How is the response to her online? Is she over like Rizzo is?
It's actually a little interesting because she is private.
Okay.
Her Instagram account is private.
Well, I mean, just like in general, like you see on like threads and shit, people talking about Survivor.
I mean, I think she is She is liked. I mean, I think maybe the religious, spiritual community may have gripes with her.
Because she kind of targets that part of Shannon. She does.
Right, but that's because Shannon uses that.
Yeah.
And when I say uses, I don't mean necessarily uses to manipulate. Like, I do think it's who Shannon is, but I think people who are on the opposite receiving side of that sees it as not genuine. Because remember, we're in a game to play $1 million. We're in a game to make people feel safe and feel happy.
Yeah.
We have Lauren she was a winner from many seasons ago, and people said that you would look in her eyes and she would just make you feel like you were seen, and just like she would empower you.
That's
and
awesome.
like and that's the reason that she won. And then you have people like a few seasons ago, Shan, who she was a pastor. And I can't remember if she disclosed that or not, but it definitely wasn't something that she leveraged like Shannon is leveraging, right? Because if we're looking at a game, everything in the game is a game. So if I'm in the game and you're saying, all this religious stuff, and you're leading meditations, and you're saying, God is good and let's have fun and all this stuff, you got to be like, she's trying to make me feel too comfortable, because we've seen someone who's won in the past that is has done that. Not necessarily.
Dude, check this out. As soon as we're done snorting my dad, I'm going to go over there. You see that scaly guy? I'm going to fucking wash his feet. It's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to love it.
That was microdosing Jesus.
Microdosing Jesus is a good. That's a recurring character we as a name now?
Yeah, I guess so.
I did play Jesus in Vacation Bible School, so I'm qualified.
Right.
Yes, this is an expansion
Right.
on a role that I've already played.
Exactly. And I'm
taking
sure
some liberties with it.
your Vacation Bible School group would really, really love this image that you have been championing on our last few episodes.
I mean, I'm a performer. What can I say?
Yeah, that is.
And I can't do a chicken noise. This is all I've got.
Yeah,
I
but
have to be far cruder.
That's true. But you do have Sage. I'll quote her one more time. She does say, "I think Shannon will be familiar with the word karma, given her spiritual background."
Yeah, dude, the one-liners. She cuts promos like a wrestler.
Yeah.
She really does.
But it comes off just so like seamlessly, and like this is how her brain works. It doesn't come off as I'm fronting for the camera. It comes off, you want to know my thoughts? These are my thoughts.
Couple quotes from Shannon. I remember being in the womb, conceptualizing sight and shape and light and all of that. And then one that really stood out to me. I believe I have lucky girl syndrome. Good things happen to me. Do you have any experience with lucky girl syndrome?
No. I have maybe I will say I win a lot of like stupid little things like like a game of pool or rock paper scissors, if you will, but it's mostly strategy and like my own ability, I would say. But like luck as the general term, no. I'm not a lucky person. I've had 5 surgeries over the course of my young life. Like I make luck for myself, but I wouldn't say that I am bestowed luck by God himself. I would not say that.
I have tortured podcaster syndrome, so it's close, but not quite lucky girl.
Nice.
I don't remember being in the womb, but
Neither do I.
For some reason, when we were watching this, as it aired, I was graced with a memory that actually made me jump off of the couch. Because I've said before on the show, like my earliest memories of Survivor, I didn't watch it as a kid, like the way that you did. My parents watched it. Like when it was like first on, those first couple seasons, my parents watched it. And it was like huge. And it's still huge, right? It's still like a huge CBS property, but like it took the world by storm when it first came out. Like
it
was
was
nothing,
novel. It was novel.
There was nothing like it beforehand. And it was just such a unique product that was the topic of conversation everywhere you went, including teachers. I remember teachers talking about Survivor, like in the hallway, maybe like as they're walking kids to lunch. Like this is like when I'm in elementary school. And I just remembered that in gym class, PE, like which I think they took you to maybe like twice a week in elementary school.
Sure.
We played a game called Survivor
Okay.
while the
That sounds
show
fun.
was on. So I just remember my parents were watching it at home, and then I would go to school and we would play Survivor, like named after this show, by the two women that ran this class. And what it was is they opened the class with it. They put on the Survivor music and made us run. Yeah. And they made us run laps around the gym until you couldn't run anymore. And the person who lasted the longest was the winner of Survivor. And every time we went back, they played the music a little longer, like another 30 seconds, another minute. And once you were eliminated, you just had to go sit up against the wall and watch your friends run in a circle while the Survivor music was playing. Also, it was just on a loop. I remember hearing, that's kind of like the first time I realized like you could repeat a song, because I would hear it end and then start over again.
Oh, no smooth mix
This
transition.
happened I swear to fucking God, this happened for like 2 or 3 years in a row.
And I feel like little, you said elementary school?
I was like third grade.
I feel like they have a lot of energy. So like you could go for like a decent amount of time. How long is that song? Can't be that long.
Dude, I don't know. We could have been running for fucking 30 minutes. I don't know. I can't remember. I was never very good at it.
What
I
is
don't have cardio endurance.
what is with so Matt and I have known each other for almost half of our lives.
Yeah.
at this
Officially half of our lives.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, officially. I don't know. Time and it's just a concept. We've known each other for half of our lives. We've been together for
15 years?
not 15.
14 years?
No, I think it's less than that. I think it's like 13.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fine.
I don't know that.
Check Instagram.
We've been married for 3 years.
Yeah,
though.
we've been married for 3 years.
Yeah,
we have that on
we
record.
know that one.
Yeah.
So
We've known each other for a long time.
for a long time. You know, we've had lots of conversations. We have lots of time. We went to college together. We had just so many hours and hours and hours for us to tell each other anything and everything about ourselves, tell stories, whatever. This man surprises me at least like once a year with just like some random trauma from his elementary, middle school years. And I don't mean like, you know, he got like beat or something like that. I mean like micro traumas, like where his
Hang on. Well, where are you going with this one?
when
More of this school?
well the schooling
Right,
stuff.
well,
Yeah.
Let me go into it. Then.
Yeah, a teacher you know, made you feel a certain type of way while you were okay.
So
It's always something with school, by the way.
it is always something with school.
And every time I'm just like, how did this memory get brought up for you? And like, how am I just learning about it right now?
I host a podcast about Survivor. That's how this got brought up. I probably would have never thought about this again. I'm not friends with, I don't keep in contact with anyone that I went to elementary school with in fucking Chesapeake, Virginia.
Sure.
And so, yes, we go to the gym class. They're making people like run. It's like the pacer test, but
like worse.
But like you're 8 years old and maybe cooler music. Honestly, the pacer test might be better if they played the Survivor theme instead of that shitty fucking music.
Boop.
All right, we're on to something here. So, yeah, that was the same year I had a teacher. My like main. I guess you only have one teacher.
Wait,
when
this
you're
is
in,
the
like, second
same
grade.
year of the other
Yeah.
trauma
Well,
story?
I was only there for 3 or 4 years, and then
Okay.
we moved. This is the same teacher. I won't say her name, and I hope she's.
Oh my God.
She was like very kind in a lot of ways, and like she was kind of funny, but
Okay,
she
starting
had
off good.
such. And I'm just realizing this now as like a grown man, you know. So I'm 29. I would have been what, like 7. So this is like over 25 years.
Welcome
ago.
to Matt's public therapy session.
She, like, if you got caught acting up, and this is like acting up, like maybe you were fucking talking when you shouldn't have, or like, I don't know. I was like, I had a lot of energy. I was always talking. I was always getting kind of scolded because I was like goofing around or whatever.
Podcast host, always
And
talking?
Torture
No.
podcaster, yeah. And like she would like scold you in front of the class and then like finish whatever the thought was. And then she would pass. She had a big bin of candy, right? In elementary school, like candy is used for reward, bribe, whatever. She would pass the candy around to everyone but me. Because like
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
This was not the trauma that I was talking about. This was not the incident I was talking about.
You think about the spelling one?
The spelling.
We'll get to that.
Well,
I didn't tell you about this one?
No, you didn't tell me about this one.
Yeah. So like, if like Matt, I think I was still Matthew at the time. Matt gets in trouble for talking or, fucking blurted something out, whatever. All right, time to pass the candy around. And it was like, she would walk down you're sitting like in a line on the carpet, right? She would walk down the line and then like pull back when she got to me and then like give it to the next kid. Yeah.
That, what I want to say,
I was
feel
7.
like what I want to say isn't like PC, but I feel like that's how you breed someone who like doesn't like, isn't a fit member of society. So I'm glad to see that you are a fit member of society.
That's still objective. That's still up for decision. But yeah, she would skip over you, and it happened to other kids too.
That's crazy.
And I remember,
what a bitch.
I remember,
ain't nobody doesn't give my husband a piece of candy.
That's probably why I can't stay away from it now.
Yeah.
I remember pocketing it when it would happen to other kids and like giving it to them later.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Because I was like, as a little kid, I was like, this sucks. And like, I would always feel really bad for like kids that got in trouble. Like, cause they would be embarrassed. I would feel bad that they were embarrassed in front of the class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that always, and it's because it would fucking happen to me too. And so I remember, cause it was always the same, like 5 or 6 kids that this was happening to. And just radicalizing the youth.
Yeah, you had a little faction forming.
But we weren't even all necessarily friends. But it's just like, oh, I feel bad for that person, so I'm gonna give them what I got as a reward to spite them, basically. And then the other big one that I remember.
I'm just shocked that we got it. I'm just shocked that we got into this, and I again got another tidbit of elementary school teacher induced trauma.
It's the same teacher. So there's the same
crazy.
teacher with the
It's
spelling.
crazy.
So like you have spelling tests in elementary school.
Yeah, never did. I'm not a good speller.
I'm actually a pretty good speller. I went to regionals for the script spelling bee in middle school.
I remember when I was in like,
I was quite bookish once.
First or second grade or something like that. I was writing something and I needed the word cereal. Like a bowl of cereal.
One. That's a good one.
I could not figure out how to spell it.
Yeah.
And I said, Dad, how do you spell it? He goes, you know what? Let's look at a box of cereal and see if we can find the word on it.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. By the way, that teaches resourcefulness.
And I am a very resourceful person.
It's not, let's look it up on the internet. Let's go find something in the house.
Well, to be fair, we very rural place where we lived, and we had the dial up
until 2014.
Yeah, pretty much. So like the internet, it would have taken us like 30 minutes to figure out like how to spell cereal by Googling it circa, I don't know, 2004 or whatever.
We would all take these spelling tests, and then like it's like this part's a little hazy, but I think like she would grade them, and then she would call you up one by one to like go get your test, right? Instead of passing it out to each student at their desk.
Lazy. She would just want to sit there.
Or, you could think maybe it's like, oh, so that like other people, you can see your grade and like keep it close to your chest.
A little mini conference, if you will.
Right. Except she would call your name out and then announce to the class the word that you got wrong. And here's an actual example, because I still remember this happening. It would be like, Megan, learn how to spell cereal. Matt, learn how to spell friend. And like she would say that as you're like
I before
walking,
E, except after C.
She would, dude, it was humiliating. And she would say that like as you're getting called up. So not only is it being announced to the class what you got wrong, you are now you're being paraded in front of I'm 7 years old. Like all I cared about was Ed and Eddie.
I think what we need to do is we need to do some research. We need to find all of these other kids that were in that class with you and compile a documentary about this terrible, awful teacher. Because I do think teachers, they do go underappreciated and, don't get paid enough, etc. Right. And they are the people that are, in conjunction with parents, right, are raising essentially the next generation. So when you have a bitch ass lady like this trying to instill these, insecurities and fear and just like otherness in these kids, fuck you, lady. Ain't nobody's mean to my husband.
I think my mom took me to a shrink after that.
Nuh-uh. Wait, are you serious?
I think so.
Again, another tidbit that I did not know.
I remember, and this was like maybe like the following year, actually. I remember being pulled out of school on like a semi-regular basis to like go to, it was like the fucking hospital. It was like a hospital. And like, I would talk to this guy in like a lab, like a white coat, and he would just ask me questions. And like, I would just talk. I think that was my first therapy, was when I was 7 years old. Holy shit. Because sometimes I would like talk to him about just like random shit, and then I'd ask my mom like, "Hey, was that the right answer?" And she's like, "We just talk about whatever you want to talk." What the fuck? I was in therapy when I was 8.
What?
It's so
what
frustrating.
Is this podcast?
It's so frustrating that no one's going to listen to this, because this is a really good story that I'm just now realizing that I'm unpacking in real time.
This is crazy.
I do remember when I was called out for not being able to spell friend. This kid his name was Garrett. He came up to me and whispered in my ear, like he was like, Friend, like just like to be helpful. Like, hey man, here's how you spell it. As he said that, his name got called, and she called out 4 fucking words that he spelled wrong.
I just feel so sad for all these little kids in this class. She was a tyrant. These are the type of people that like they literally get an ounce of power in some capacity, and they use it, exploit it, and just it goes to their head. Congrats, you made a fucking 7-year-old feel terrible about themselves and embarrass them in front of their entire class when all they're trying to do is learn. And they've been on this earth for 7 years while crotchety old fuck has been here for 65
it's
or
like,
whatever the fuck it's been.
You feel awful.
I feel
like,
rage.
I
feel rage
You can't
right now.
cry, because then because like at this point you're 7. It's like embarrassing if you're crying in class.
Oh,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like you can't cry because you're embarrassed already. And so you just gotta fucking shove that shit way down, hold out till lunch, and then, maybe
Sneak a tear in the bathroom.
Yeah. Maybe Fairly Odd Parents is on when you get home.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Holy
okay?
shit.
You okay over there, buddy?
If we weren't using our phones for cameras, I'd call her. I'd call my mom and ask her.
Oh,
if that's,
live on air?
Yeah. Fuck. We got to figure out how to get a phone going on this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's that's my weekly dose of therapy, I guess.
Okay.
Save myself.
Anyways, this is a Survivor podcast. If you forgot, not learning about all of Matt's childhood trauma, so we can get back to the originally scheduled programming here.
We have like nothing else to talk about. It's fine. The immunity challenge.
Let's just segue right to that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Real
it's
seamless.
It's
like
fine. YouTube like automatically like makes segments. I'm really excited to see what they call that one.
Oh, it auto.
Yeah,
called?
like auto title segments in the waveform, like
probably,
in the scrubber.
It's probably going to be Matt's trauma.
It'd be so funny if it was just my teacher's name.
And in the bottom of our like social graphics, it says like, currently unpacking Survivor 49. I'll change this episode so it says currently unpacking Matt's childhood trauma.
Yeah, because it's all about me.
Yeah.
The immunity challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that thing that we forgot about.
Are climbing a cargo net that like flips over. It's on like an axle.
Whenever I see cargo nets in any capacity, whether I have to crawl on it, crawl under it, use it, it just looks like it sucks.
It looks awful.
It looks awful.
Because like I think like the only good shoes for a cargo net are like boots. Like I feel like running shoes aren't gonna give you super good support. I tried to run like a ropes course with like running shoes, and like I couldn't balance on it correctly.
Maybe you just don't have balance.
That's also true. So they are climbing up a cargo net to then fall down the other side of the cargo net.
Kind of like a teeter-totter.
And then they've got to schlep a bunch of sandbags from one side of the course to the other to move into position to be able to climb up the sandbags and retrieve a suspended object that has sticks and string in it. From there, you got to open up that bag of sticks and string. You have to use it to build a pole. So you're tying sticks together.
We've seen this in previous seasons.
And you use that pole to extend out to retrieve a key that's hanging on a ring that unlocks a ball that you have to navigate through a balance maze.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of moving parts here. Right off the bat, I have to double check. Hina is blowing through this because MC. Now you have MC and Rizzo, like two very physical people. They're tall. They're both tall. Like they've got some height, which is great when you have to reach shit. That I think that they have gotten even more of a physical edge because the two of them are now together. I think that we're going to keep seeing them win through the merge.
Savannah and Sophi with an eye.
Oh yeah. Also, like I'm not discounting their abilities either.
Oh no, but I'm just saying all of these people together. I mean, Sophi with an eye has to be strong because she survived.
Yeah, seriously.
This far, and she was continued, to stay in the game and to not be voted out when we're talking about tribe strength in early Kella days, right? So she's also very strong. Savannah's very, logical and methodical and, good at puzzles, things like that. So, no, this tribe is very well rounded. New Hina.
And Jawan with the Kella tribe is kind of fucking up when it gets to the maze. But before that, I want to go to the Uli tribe where Christina is the one in charge of building the pole, if you will.
And let's talk about maybe why she is building the pole. Because if we rewind to the reward challenge, she asks to throw the frisbee to hit the totems.
Yeah.
They shake her off. They go,
They do. They say, no, you're not well.
Yeah. They go, no.
And I think that's what they're not negging her abilities. They're just like, you almost passed out.
No, but she was trying to volunteer for a, position of power during the challenge, and her tribe mate shook her off.
And so she steps up for this one. Though.
Right. And do you think the tribe was going to shake her off again?
No, that'd be a bad
No.
beat. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a good look? So yes, Christina, you can have this, huge point of the challenge. You can own it.
And she can't figure it out. And at a certain point, both teams are at the maze, and she is still trying to get that pole up. And I was watching through my fingers because I'm like, this is a horrible way to lose this challenge for your team if this is the case. You had that, that horrible moment earlier in the day where you almost passed out in front of the whole cast and crew. And then if she were to lose this for them, because it would be her loss.
And Sophi is now coming for you because you were trying to use her as almost like a shield.
It was looking really grim for Christina for a second there, but the other teams have so much trouble with their maze that she finally figures it out.
Well, not before Sophi absolutely kills it.
Yes.
She builds that thing so fast, so strong, and immediately gets the key. It's
like
unbelievable.
Straight as a fucking arrow.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, hell yeah, Sophi. Again, the curse is unlifted from her once again. She is rising from the ashes like a phoenix. And then something really, really interesting happens with Steven on the Kella tribe. He's building their, long stick with, little twine and stick segments. And he looks back to his tribe and says, hey, tell me how many Sophi has on her pole.
I need to know exactly the size.
Because I think Sophi tried and it was short at first, and then she continued to build. So instead of him doing trial and error, like wondering if is 5 enough? Oh, is 7 enough? No, 10's actually enough. No, he's asking his tribe to look at the other tribes and tell him the number that he needs. So he is taking out the trial and error of his, attempt basically, which is genius. Steven's here to play.
Oh, absolutely. He's proven himself to be a really smart guy.
Yes, very resourceful.
He's going to go far. He's already, forged new relationships in the game. But eventually they do all end up at the maze together, which is, again, it's like neck and neck. And Hina once again pulls out the win. Back-to-back wins for the Hina tribe. I think they're unstoppable.
An amazing episode for Sophi lineup. With an eye.
Yeah,
everything went right for her. Every single thing. I'd love to see it.
It's Savannah and Rizzo working the maze together, and they're just locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell they've been working together this entire game, and I think it, builds a bond between the two
Definitely
of them
an advantage.
going into the merge.
They know how to communicate.
And so, yeah, it's like you've got the communication between the familiarity between Rizzo and Savannah. You've got this like really strong bond of trust with Sophi and Savannah. You've got the physicality of Rizzo and MC. They're stacked. I mean, they are stacked to go, I think, into the merge untouched. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be really interesting to see how they choose to work with the other players after the merge. But I'm saying it now, I don't think they go to tribal as this current group of 4.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Uli comes in second place. God bless. Like, aside from Christina's flub with making the poll, they pull it out.
Good for Alex. We'd love to see a former Kella member
And
get another win.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And what sucks is Kella comes in dead last. The curse is back on Kella.
On the tribe
They
itself,
come in
yeah.
dead last for both challenges in this episode. And Jawan has like a real moment of panic where he shits the bed. They drop the ball very close to the end. It's him and Sage running the maze together. So that sucks. Jawan's going back to tribal. And then we've got 3 individuals going to tribal for their very first time in Steven, Sage, and Shannon. And the rest of this is pretty cut and dry. In pre-tribal, you know, we already know that Sage is out on Shannon's bullshit. We know that...
Has Steven been to tribal?
No. Because Steven was OG Hina. And Hina never went to tribal. And then he was on New Kella. And Kella never went to tribal because New Hina was always going to tribal. Oh my God. Yes. And he says that to Jeff. He's actually the one that
does
Jeff
he say it?
targets.
Okay,
he says, I've never been to tribal. 3 of us have never been to tribal. We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So they're stressing. But again, like, we know that Sage is out on Shannon. We know that Steven doubts Shannon. And we know that...
Steven, again, this episode, calls her a shark.
Yeah, Shark Shannon, right?
Shark Shannon. Shannon.
Shannon starts telling Jawan, yeah, they're uli strong, but she tells the camera, Steven is a safer bet as an ally going into the game. I need to start forging bonds with the OG Hinas so that I have... And, like, it is the right line of thinking, I think. She is planning for the merge. And like she thinks that Jawan is the easy out because she's got this group of 3. Mm-hmm. Now, Shannon tells Sage, her sister, her BFF, that they want to do Jawan. Sage realizes this is it. This is the time to strike. I've been given ammunition to load into this gun that Steven and I have been cleaning for the last week. And she goes to Jawan and says, Jawan, Shannon put your name out. We got to move on her. Mm-hmm. We want to cut her.
And something that Sage says, another quote, Shannon loves to be the leader, and I love to let her be the leader. And like cold chills.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it was so beautiful. I was like, this is Sage is moving up in the ranks. I said earlier from the last episode, not only one of my favorite players this season, it may be like ever.
Oh, she's over.
She's over. I am all sold on Sage. I'm a huge fan. The way that I love a player who, you know, she was going like back and forth with Shannon, and then, you know, Shannon looks away and she looks at the camera and she's like, oh. I love someone.
She has like a vomit face.
Yeah. I love someone who can manipulate and participate in a situation and then have an aside with the camera or have a confessional and be like, no, I'm like playing up this part or that part, or, you know, this isn't what it seems. Let me tell you why. And like, she's having fun with it and she has some great quotes. I'm huge over with Sage, and the fact that she's able to sit there and say, yeah, I know Shannon likes to lead, so I'm going to let her. And I'm going to weaponize that.
Yeah.
Again, like we talked about last time, Sage is weaponizing the perception of herself that Shannon has of her to her benefit. And she's doing it once again. And she knows what Shannon likes, and she's letting Shannon have it for her own benefit. And it is just, it's amazing. It's beautiful to watch.
Practically blows up his own game here because he so Jawan is cagey. Everyone's been kind of worried about him being cagey, and this really proves he is like a cagey
I could
dude.
still work with Shannon.
He says,
dude, someone's literally gonna write your name down tonight, and if we're not,
her or you.
Yeah, it's her or you at this point. So what do you mean you don't know if you're gonna write Shannon down, or you could still use her in the future? No, you are now in the same boat with Sage, because Shannon was saying Sage name. Now Shannon is saying Jawan's name. Both of these players know that Shannon's saying their name. we have to get out Shannon. Have to.
He thinks for a second that they're going to stick with Uli Strong and go Steven. But I think Sage gets to him, and we don't see it, but I'd be interested to know if like Sage at one point gets Steven and Juwan in the same circle and says, hey, this is our group. We're voting Shannon. This is like a lock that this is what we're going to do.
They had to have done, or at least, she had one-on-ones and they had one-on-ones. But Juwan says it feels icky because he's hugged Shannon and like they've, like bonded together.
He doesn't want the blood on his hands.
Well, no, he doesn't feel icky about voting Shannon. He feels icky that Shannon is gunning for him after she has schmoozed him.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a
so
shitty feeling.
again, that's the issue with Shannon and the spirituality aspect of it, because she's using it to comfort people. She's using it to, get over good with people, which again, I think that is just her as a person, but then she's also playing a game where she's trying to backstab people. Mm-hmm. So that's where the lines and everything gets a little murky, right? Is because they don't know what's being, what's true and what's not as far as Shannon goes. And yeah, he just says it's, too early to get Shannon. He's not comfortable with it.
He doesn't want the blood on his hands. He
I'm
specifically cites he doesn't want to go to the merge and show Uli that he broke, the Uli bond, which at this point, like, dude, it's what they're willing to do with you. And also you kind of know by now they were going to do it to you previously. Like the Uli Strong thing does not really exist anymore because your name's been thrown out. Sage's name has been thrown out.
And guess who's the common denominator of that? It's you, Shannon.
Exactly.
It's you, Shannon.
So it's like Sage bided her time. Bode her time? Bided her time?
I don't know.
She
Joe
Biden her time perfectly. And she fucking pulls it off. Shannon goes home 3-1. Shannon writes Juwan, which is interesting because
So I saw like a meme. I forgot one of the players shared it. But it was a meme of it was like an outtake from like a movie or something, but basically it was Shannon pointing a gun at Juwan and Juwan's pointing a gun at Steven, and you zoom out and you have Sage as the sniper pointing it at Shannon. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This like paints it like perfectly.
That sounds a lot like Heat when Val Kilmer's on the roof with the machine gun watching them do the handoff. So I want to talk really quick about the way that Shannon goes out. Shannon seems to take it on the chin. She goes, all right, they got me. Hey, good game, you guys. Everyone stand up. I want hugs.
And by the way, Shannon should have been pissed.
Total blindside, yeah.
Absolutely blindsided. She had no idea it was coming. She thought she was good with Sage.
Sister time meant nothing.
Yeah, right? So like, I would think Shannon would be pissed or would like get up and, but no, she's a good
sport about it.
Yeah, she is a good sport. She's like, yeah, hugs. Like this was, time of a lifetime. Even though I'm going, like let's celebrate and let's have a final hug together. And like this was great. And again, I think this goes back to she was authentic.
Yeah, I like she was true to herself.
Yeah.
And the first note I made was Sage doesn't stand up at first when everyone else does.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be the only note that I made. And then again, she drops a fucking promo on Shannon and she says, I'm going to give you a handshake because I can't hug you if it's not genuine. And I can't do that right now.
No hug, just handshake.
And I look forward to hugging you in the future. And I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And Shannon kind of lets it roll off of her. She says, I love you too. Sage did not say I love you. She fucking dips.
So, okay, let's break this little moment down because upon first watch, I was like, hell yeah, Sage. Like you were, being true to yourself, right? You just got out someone who has been wanting you out for many tribals now, right? Has been throwing my name under the bus. It must have felt like a relief for her to have Shannon out of the game finally. And then on my second watch, I was like, well, Shannon's the one that got the shit end of the stick right now because like she got, right? And she's the one being like, no, I want to, that doesn't matter to me. Like we're people now. I'm a person. I'm not a player anymore. Hugs. And I think I'm just so torn. I go back because if Sage is not feeling a hug, she needs to have her bodily autonomy to be like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
because I hate when people touch me.
Yeah, I think that's important
unprompted,
to
right?
note.
So I think bodily autonomy is like huge. And the fact that Sage says, I'm uncomfortable with a hug, let's handshake, I think is an absolutely okay move. And Shannon, agrees to that and doesn't overstep any boundaries, which great. But at the same time, it does feel a little bit of insult to Shannon's injury, because at this point Shannon doesn't know that Sage knows that Shannon has been going around saying Sage's name. So it truly is like I had no idea, like I thought Sage and I were good, because you were trying to manipulate Sage and you were trying to pull one over on Sage many times, and Sage was like, I know who you are. So I really do have mixed feelings about this. I can go back, I can be convinced either way.
I think that Sage is totally, she can be considered in the right here. It's TV. At the end of the day, it's fucking television.
Yeah.
And this was, again, it's like a pro wrestler moment, right? She defines who she is, not just to Shannon in that moment, but to the whole audience.
It's true.
Everyone watching at home, production watching her, Jeff Probst watching her. So I think
Other
that this
tribe
is,
mates watching her, right?
I think this is a canon moment for her. Not just like as a whole, the blindside is the best. It's the most impressive move of this season yet. But in this moment, denying the hug, explaining why, like I think that she is asserting to everyone around her who she is as a person. And if we're giving Shannon credit for staying true to herself, Sage is staying true to herself in this moment too.
Yeah.
And so I do think that
She's
it's
not
going to
fake a hug if she doesn't feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Sage was like, this, it could have been my name tonight. Shannon could have been doing the same thing that I was doing and trying to rally Juwan and Steven against me to vote me out. Right. Now, if Shannon had wrote Sage down and it was a 3-1, 3 on Shannon voting Sage. So, Sage being the one, then I could be like, I don't fuck with this vibe. Like clearly we just wrote each other's names down. Like we don't need a hug right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just so, I just am so interested watching Sage play this game. I'm like, yes, give me more. And I think by Sage doing that in front of Steven and Juwan can go back and be like, yeah, Sage doesn't fuck around. Like she wears her heart on her sleeve. Like she's going to tell you.
We know that she's authentic.
She's authentic, and she's going to tell you how it is.
That's huge.
And she's going to tell you how she's feeling, which is huge because that's not necessarily the case, because she sat there and put the schmooze on with Shannon for so long, and Shannon had no idea what was coming her way. So I think she bought some trust in a weird way in that moment with Steven and Juwan, but Steven and Juwan should be leery of that.
And I want to use that to segue into our triple O's.
Triple O.
Outwit, outplay, outlast. Outwit clearly goes to Sage this week.
My girl Sage.
Because she is responsible for a beautiful blindside.
Huge.
And again, like the way that she outwitted Shannon, but also outwitted, she's using her wits to assert herself with Juwan and Steven and show them who she is as a player.
And Steven's over there like, yeah, sure, you want to vote someone on your original tribe out? Yeah, cool, I'll do that.
And I think like outwit is always a tricky one to figure out because there's so much going on in the game. But like it's so clear that it's Sage for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Outplay goes to RIZGOD Riz God baby Rizzo. And here's why Rizzo deserves outplay. Hina won both challenges. Hina 3.0 won both challenges, both reward and immunity. And Rizzo was the anchor of both of those challenges. He was in a key
position of power in both of those challenges, and he showed up.
Yes.
He played.
And it's awesome. And like I said, he's super over right now. He's easy to root for, but he knocks those 4 pillars down with ease. And then it's and with Savannah's collaboration in this second challenge, he clutches immunity for them as well. So Rizzo wins outplay for this week. I think he's the first. This is the first time that he's on the board.
I would say an honorable mention for outplay though would be Sophi, because she was also winning. Sophi with an I. She was also winning, and she was able to build that like stick long assembled stick thing to get the key in the immunity challenge. And I thought that was like a huge moment, huge success moment for her.
Sophie's
that,
not
that
on the
led to the winning of that challenge.
Yeah, she's not on the board this week, but she'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Almost assuredly, we'll see her next week or the week after. However, Outlast, the third O, goes to Steven.
Steven with the V.
Steven with the V. The odd man out at the new Kella tribe. The easy vote. Similar to what happened with Sophi when she got in with all those Ulis in the first tribe switch. He decides to get close with Jawan, and he works with Sage to do Shannon, which was a bold move.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
he has to trust Sage enough to believe that she's going to do her OG tribe mate, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Steven and Sage did have a common enemy in Shannon. Like they were both calling her sharks and everything, and him and Jawan seem to have really bonded together. And I would absolutely 100% give Steven the Outlast in this. You're on a tribe of 4 people. There's not a lot of places to hide, and when the numbers of the lay of the land as it sits on paper doesn't look good for you, Steven. And it just wasn't going to be Steven. It was always going to be Shannon, or it was going to be Juwan. So I don't think somehow Steven, with the foundation that he laid, was able to really, really outlast them.
If you experienced trauma at the hands of your second grade teacher somewhere in that time of life, let us know. Write in.
Meanwhile, I did not, by the way. Mine, I accidentally called mom a few times, and I was embarrassed by it.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Other kids do that.
That's what I was saying. Like, that's how much I regarded my second grade teacher. Like, she was great.
I'm sure it was probably met with like some nurture of like, oh, like I understand like the slip up here. We would have been humiliated.
She was probably like, oh, you can call me mom, sweetie, or whatever.
Write in. Maybe we'll do. We could read stories sometime or something like that. That'd be fun.
Read childhood, elementary school
I
teacher
love
trauma
write-ins.
stories.
I love mailbags. We got to figure out. We got to find an angle though.
Okay.
I don't want to say Survivor takes as our mailbag function. So
Okay.
we'll build that out. If people
Yeah.
have ideas, send them in. DM us on Instagram. Speaking of which, at Backdoors and Blindsides on Instagram, and at Backdoor Podcast on X. Full video episodes on YouTube. We no longer have the fireplace on. It was too much of a pain in the ass to figure out the camera shot.
And just Matt doesn't have to be, have a sweaty back the
I
whole
don't
time.
need sweat running down my fucking ass while I'm trying to host this show.
Yeah.
And be sure to check us out on Threads as well, at Backdoors and Blindsides. In the meantime, share the show with a friend, whether it's the Apple feed, the Spotify feed, YouTube videos. We've got Reels on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll see all of our video content, including our shorts. And that does it. So coming to you live from inside our living room. Fuck. I got it. I'm Matt.
And I'm Meg.
We're Backdoors and Blindsides. The vibe has spoken.